would at some point definitely wind up at the Ashbury Coffee House, no doubt.
The last time I went to Chicago, I was dating this chick at the time. It was the Knicks. The Knicks had just gotten Amari Stoudemire, and I was like, hey, I couldn't find anybody to go with me. And the girl I was dating, I was like, do you want to go to Chicago to see a Knicks Bulls game? I know you're not much of a sports fan. We ended up going to Chicago. And we accidentally, we were on, en route. And I was like, you know what, let's take this shortcut. It'll be better. She's like, I don't know. Let's just drive this way. And I was like, okay, yeah, you can thank me later. And then we wound up driving through a hailstorm and getting hail damage on her car. So that was my last trip to Chicago. So this time I'm probably going to go stag if I come to Chicago.
Yeah, it's always a better idea, unless you're lucky like me. I mean, here I'm gonna break some hearts right now, but man, I'm so in love, man. My girlfriend, she's an amazing person, great kid, and so but before her, man, I wouldn't think about going to a wedding with another girl. I'm telling you, I did it a couple times. I was like, man, all you do is bring me down. I gotta pay attention to you the entire time, make sure you're having fun, and I'm always about having fun. And that's the problem. A lot of times you get dead fish. And it's just, girls still want to have fun sometimes. It's very uptight, uncomfortable, people they don't know. And, try to get people involved, have some fun, dance a little bit. But, man, if you can't dance, I'm not interested,
I can't dance, John. Are you still interested in me?
So I was never interested in you, Bob. I've seen pictures of you. I've never seen your face in person. But no, I've seen pictures, man. I'm kind of scared.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a falcon nose, if that makes sense.
I hope you're tall, because your face is very intimidating.
Yeah, I am tall, but I got chicken legs and a big torso. It's not a good combination.
Yeah, kind of like a giant lupinella.
yeah, that's probably accurate. Yeah, a taller version of Lupinella is probably an accurate description. Okay, before we get any more derailed and demented, the Johnnies. Okay, so how this works, or how I plan this to work, is, you give us.
Okay.
All right. So MVP. I am assuming the Johnny MVP in the American League is Mike Trout, right?
Yeah, no, he's finally earned his dues. At this point, he'll finally start getting paid a little bit more. It all came together, and even though he kind of faded that second half there, didn't really show up much in the playoffs. I really don't think that's going to have hurt, everything that he put into it. When you look at the other finalists, you have Michael Brantley in there, who did tremendous things for Cleveland, especially with Michael Bourne out. Really took charge, especially over the last 2 years, basically since they signed Michael Bourne. Brantley is taken a step up and it has gone a little bit further every year. And I think Victor Martinez, that's a guy where he was so valuable to the Detroit Tigers offense, especially, with everything that Miguel Cabrera was going through. He basically played injured the entire year. His power numbers weren't there. Even though his doubles were up, his on-base percentage was up, he was still, a very effective player. Just the home run numbers weren't there. You're going to see him re-sign with Detroit because they're not going to be able to let him go. He's that important. If they do let him go, he's going to go to the White Sox. But aside from that, when you look at everything Mike Trout has done, in terms of his defensive abilities, just the way he's able to hit for average, for power, just honestly a freak, and it's hard not to give it to him.
Who is your meat and potatoes player of the year? The blue-collar player of the year in the American League.
Blue-collar player of the year. Man, this is the one time I'm probably going to go with a KC guy. I'm going to go with Billy Butler, even though I kind of had a down year. I feel like he was very important to that ball club because he was a guy that, a lot of them were familiar with. Between him and Alex Gordon, even though Alex Gordon's still a younger guy, he was able, he was there through the growing pains. and Billy Butler was there from the very beginning before they even started to go through growing pains. And so, that was probably, the strongest guy for them, was just having Billy Butler's presence there. Not Butner. Oh man, Billy Butner. That's a horrible guy. You ever see any of his movies? Anyways, don't Google that. No Billy Butner. But Billy Butler, good golly, I'm telling you, man, straight up, just a very good presence to have around that ball club. Did his job as a DH, and it's unfortunate he's probably gonna end up parting ways with the team. But at least he was able to kind of make that final ride with them. So that's how I go to Billy.
Okay, your garbage disposal player of the year, the guy was the least valuable to his team this year in the American League.
I'm gonna have to look at Josh Hamilton. Again, you want to talk? Yes,
he is garbage.
He is garbage. That's because you don't like him because he stopped dipping like you. I know you like when you head out to Minnesota. You like to make sure that all the girls you hit on, they have a cup in front of them with a napkin stuffed in it, spitting their fat wad of chew in there. Man, I know you're into that, and so that's why I don't like Josh. But was really disappointed that team, for another year here, where he just hasn't been able to find that groove, hasn't been healthy, and I'm not sure what he's going to need to do to turn it around. We need to figure it out soon.
National League, real MVP, the Superhero of the Year award.
Superhero of the Year award. What superhero are we talking about now? You got to pick out a specific superhero. All of them have different characteristics.
The Ant-Man award for... Who
the hell is Ant-Man? I'm sorry. I know he's got a movie coming out. I'm pretty, tied in with a lot of that stuff. I have no idea who the hell Ant-Man is.
I have no idea either. But, I just said it to get a reaction out of you because I knew that would bother you. And Captain America's kind of crappy. Let's just say the Batman.
Is he too pretty for you? Do you not like him because you have a crush on him?
Well, and he's a crappy actor.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And he doesn't even have any real superpowers. Neither does Batman. But let's say, Superman of the Year. Who is Superman in the National League?
Superman in the National League, one of the guys that I feel like doesn't get enough credit, he has to be Paul Goldschmidt. He ended up going down late in the end of the year with an injury.
That's your MVP?
I'm sorry?
Paul Goldschmidt is your MVP in the National League?
Well, my MVP or my Superman? Those are different things, man.
Well, Superman MVP, that's what I was going to call it, I guess.
Well, if you're going to smoosh it, you got to tell me if you're going to smoosh it, man. Okay, all right.
MVP. Who's your MVP? And then we'll go to Paul Goldschmidt.
Okay, all right. If I were to pick out of the three that we have allotted here, and I'm probably going to agree with it anyways, Giancarlo Stanton. Again, Miami took some major steps this season. Much like Billy Butler, I think he was a great presence, for that ball club to kind of keep guys feeling comfortable, and kind of staying within their games and kind of help them learn the game as they go along. But just seeing the crazy numbers he put up again, this guy is super young. He has no business, putting up over 30 home runs every year for the last, since he's pretty much been in the league. Just an incredible ball player. Seeing them finally crawl out of the cellar. Very impressive. I mean, this guy's not even 25 yet. So, still working off arbitration. Took the ball off the face. That was just brutal. I don't know if you caught that injury, but definitely a hard-nosed ball player. Goes out there, does his gig, and it turned out to go with Giancarlo.
Your meat and potatoes, blue-collar player of the year in the National League. Who is it?
Okay, well, now I'm going to go with Paul Goldschmidt.
Thank you.
As I was saying, he ended up going down at the end of the year with an injury, but he's a very strong ball player on a poor club to the point where, he played phenomenal defense. was pretty much, one of their, primary and only offensive producers on that team all year. Even when they were struggling, he was still going out there giving it, 100% all day, every day. And so, that's when it comes down to meat and potatoes, I'm going Paul Goldschmidt.
I'm still trying to come up with a name for garbage disposal player of the year. I mean, you could kind of misconceive that as somebody who, cuts through. You could kind of misconceive that. But I don't want to go as far as like fecal matter player of the year. That's a little far. How about
how about a bad day at the buffet player of the year award?
Dumpster fire player of the year.
Ooh, dumpster fire. Much like hot garbage. Yeah, that's going to have to be. Started off in Atlanta, wound up eventually departing officially out of the major leagues with the San Francisco World Series champion Giants. Dan Uggla. This guy, just a very poor season yet again. You can even look at BJ Upton if you want to go back to Atlanta. But when it really comes down to it, Dan Uggla really disappointed. San Francisco ended up going to the World Series with a rookie playing second base, Joe Panik. Did a phenomenal job. It helped spark their offense in a very opposite way and different way than Dan Uggla would. Dan Uggla always shooting for pops, striking out quite a bit. Obviously not earning his pay. It wasn't hitting his weight for the last 3 seasons, if not more. But when it really comes down to it, seeing what Joe Panik was able to do was pretty impressive. And, hot garbage player of the year, dumpster fire. Let's go Dan Uggla.
Okay. Last award. I'm really sorry, John. I know these are the Johnnies, but I'm making up the awards as we go.
Yeah, no, I got a bunch of cute names and things written down here, but that's okay. We'll go with what you got.
Okay. The Jabba the Hutt Player of the Year in the National and American Leagues for the player that gained the most weight in each league. Who would you go with for those two?
I mean, pretty much every year it's a repeat winner. I almost feel like it's a Gold Glove award, but you got to go Pablo Sandoval. This tub of goo, somehow, he was managing to, work his way through the season yet again. And, it's been proven, though, that he's one of those guys where when he was able to keep the weight off, he was a very productive player. He was a lot less prone to getting hurt. But, for whatever reason, seems to always gain that weight, but that's why baseball is a phenomenal sport. I was watching one of the games of the World Series with some casual fans and, pointing at the television screen. So, this is why I love baseball. You can get a guy like him, you get a guy like David Wells to go out there and do your job and do it well, man. The guy showed up in the postseason, and I was going to make his pay here during the off season. And, I'm going to have to say, since we're going to bring him up, even though since he's going to win the award, he's probably going to win a 5-year deal worth somewhere near about $100 million with the Boston Red Sox, is what I'm thinking.
Do you think he turns into Mo Vaughn?
He's getting close. I don't know. That's one of those things. There's a lot of similarities there. I think the one thing that might work out for his favor is that, David Ortiz, he's, here in the last year of his deal. We'll see where that goes, but you figure, he'll be able to play third base. We'll leave some time at first base and then also moving into that DH spot, once Ortiz leaves town.
Before I let you go, John, do you want to tell everybody where we can find you on Twitter, the internets, the Instagrams, all that good stuff? I appreciate it.
You can find me on all of those at Malioris, Malioris. Otherwise, feel free to look up that same name on Facebook. That's where I'm going to put up all my posts, all my updates, and all my crazy shows that I do and everything else that they have going on outside of baseball talk.
Awesome, John. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Always a good time. Always good talking crap to you. And you throwing it right back my way. It's always fun.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, and everybody out there, be good.
Awesome. Well, I'll talk to you soon, and we will be right back with Bob's demented thoughts or Bob's crappy thoughts here on LateNightSportsRadio.com. You're listening to The Bob Sullivan Show.